welcome to the Pineapple Knits podcast. This is a podcast mostly about knitting and spinning, and I occasionally share other fiber-related goodies. I'm Marina, and you can find me everywhere on the web at Pineapple Yarn. I'm most active on Instagram. I try to post there nearly every day. I'm also on Ravelry, where I post much less frequently. I'm so glad you joined me today. I am so busy and excited. I will be reopening my shop on August 15th for Advent Calendar pre-orders. So this is so exciting, but I will share that with you later in the episode. I have just been enjoying the end of the summer. It is mid-August right now, and I live on the South Carolina coast, which is the southeastern part of the US. And so it is hot and humid, but I really love it. This is kind of the tail end of the summer where I'm drinking water exclusively just because I think my reserves are low. I don't want to get dehydrated, and yeah, we've been having a lot of heat, but it's all good. My family and I have been enjoying the beach as usual. We go there quite a bit, so can't complain about that. It's great. I have really been knitting a ton this week. I just found it in me that I really needed to finish up some whips. Those of you who've been watching me for a while, I hate having multiple outstanding whips. I don't know what it is, but I really like to have just a couple of works in progress, and yeah, sometimes it's just too much for me. So I really pushed through. I'm nearly done with a couple of projects, so I want to share those with you now. The first work in progress I'm going to show with you is my Lunae Shawl, and I've been sharing this for months and months. I cast on in February, and I'm just kind of over it. I don't want to say I'm over it. That's kind of cliche. I'm wanting to be finished with it. It's a really great pattern. I love the design, and it is purely the knitter who is having issues with it. I have knit this so many times and had to rip back or frog, and of course, as you do, I completely stopped in the middle of the row. But I'm just going to show you the bottom part of the motif that I'm working on so you can see how much I've done. So this is the section that I am working on right now. I think the last time we talked, I was down here. I had just had to rip quite a bit back to do this border right here. I forgot to put it in. I cannot believe I did that, but I did. So I ripped back, and now I've almost completed this portion, which I just think this is beautiful. So I am actually showing it to you upside down right now. And all I have to do, I think I have basically 8 rows left of this motif. And then I have this short little portion to do, and then I bind off. Isn't that great? One thing I am going to do, I was reading on Ravelry, I was reading other people's project notes, and what some people did, so this is the top up here, and as you can tell, it is, I feel like it's unfinished. Maybe it's not once it blocks out and, ends are woven in and whatnot. But one thing that people did, which I thought was really great, is they picked up stitches all along this edge, which is quite a bit, but they did. And then they did this small, I think it's maybe a 6-row repeat. Just this very, very small motif of these tiny squares. So they did that along the top part just to make it look more finished. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do that. I'm not sure. I feel like I have worked on this for so long that I just want it to be done correctly. I want it to be done where I'm really going to be proud of it, because I think I'm going to wear it quite a bit. It's not my normal, you know, kind of bright, punchy colors that I gravitate towards, but I think it's going to go with everything. Wow, I really thought I just saw a mistake. I tell you, that's not a mistake. Okay, good. I've just had the worst luck knitting this. I think it's been my attention span. My attention span has just been really, yeah, not great. 2019 has been kind of a bear of a year for me, just on a personal note, and I really don't think I should have cast on a project like this. But I'm pushing through, I'm gonna get it done, and yeah, it'll be really good. I'm using, I think I said this is the Lunae Shawl. It's called Lunae. It's by Natasja Hornby, and her designs are called Moonstruck knits. She's a really great designer, and the pattern has just been really great too. Like I said, totally user error. I'm using Knit Picks palette yarns as well, and I will give all the details when I'm finished. Hopefully the next time I podcast, the next time I record, I'll be totally done. And I've been carrying this in one of the project bags that I carry in my shop, and it is a big, it's just a massive drawstring bag with all these like super cute little sheep and this little poppy green on top. I love this bag. I need to put some more in the shop. It has just been, it's super durable and it holds a massive amount. So that is the first project I've really been working on this week. And the next project is it's kind of been an ongoing project for a while. It is the Cubetcha Shawl from Casapinka. And I am knitting it in my purple Passionflower colorway. This is purple Passionflower from Pineapple Yarn. And it is on my British BFL base, which is a BFL nylon blend, which has been wonderful in this heat and humidity. I don't know if it's just slightly more toothy than the merino, you know, than like a merino or a merino cashmere blend. It has been so nice knitting this in the humidity, and especially at the beach. You know, a lot of times if you don't have a nice breeze, it can get just kind of sweltering and oppressive when you're sitting at the beach. And I can still knit on this, which is really amazing. But anyway, here is the end of it, and I have just been loving this. This is going to be a very long shawl. It is a boomerang shape, so it is not very deep, but it is long. And it's, yes, it is very long right now. I can barely show it to you, but the cutest thing about this pattern are these little cubes at the very bottom. And I think there's a specified number in the pattern that you can get up to, or that, you know, a normal 100 gram skein of fingering weight yarn you should be able to get to. I haven't counted lately, so I don't know how many I am to yet, but I have a ways to go. And so I've just been loving this. I don't have to follow the pattern anymore. It is completely memorized. But I love the way it's knitting up with all these pops of orange and the deep blue greens. This is just a really, really pretty colorway. But this is all I have left. This is about 25 or 26 grams. And what I've been doing every day, and the same with my Lunae Shawl, I've been keeping kind of track of how many rows I need to finish, or not how many rows I need to finish, but how much I've been doing every day. And so with this, what I've been doing is weighing it. And I'll probably, when I have several grams left, I will probably stop and make sure I have enough to bind off. But I've been doing probably, I've been aiming for about 5 to knit about 5 grams a day from this. So I have less than a week. If I keep doing it, I have less than a week until I'm finished with this. I'm very, very excited about it. I just think this will be so cute with a, I'm thinking in the fall wearing it with like a navy blue dress, but it's going to match so many different things, and I think it's really fun and festive. So that is that. And yes, so those are the 2 whips that I'm really trying to get through, and basically because I want to cast on other things. Just being honest here. So the third work in progress I'm going to show you is my Spoondrift Mystery Knit Along Shawl, and I'm going to put a timestamp probably right here. And if you are not wanting this surprise to be spoiled, if you're knitting it or plan on knitting it, but this is what I have so far. I love this color. These 2 colors together are so pretty. So basically what I'm doing is I am alternating, or I have been alternating 2 colors. The first is called Voodoo. It's the pink color, and it's from Madelinetosh, and it is a beautiful singles merino fingering base with hollow glitter. So it is so fun. And the second is a fingering weight. It's also fingering weight, of course, and it is, I'm going to show you a close-up of all that. The second is a fingering weight. It's from Pineapple Yarn, my yarn, and it's on my fingering weight Lonnie base, which is a merino nylon blend, and it's in the color Neon Coral. So it has been such a fun knit. The V's at the top, that was Clue 1. The small border underneath was Clue 2. And then all of this lace motif was Clue 3. So Clue 3 took much more time than the other clues. And then Clue 4, I ran out of the Neon Coral. So what I did, I'm just going to show it to you upside down. I actually just knit with the pink, and I think I haven't decided if I'm going to start blending in the next color or not. So the pattern itself does not call for, I think it calls for maybe 2 full skeins, so 100 gram skeins of fingering weight yarn. What I did is I had this, which was a full skein. This is the Madelinetosh Voodoo, which is just really, really gorgeous. I love it so much. I had this, and then I wanted to incorporate the Neon Coral color in it. And so what I did is I alternated basically every other row. Up here, what I did is I did the raised bumps every other row, and then this was just the plain, this was the pink color by itself. You can't really tell here, but that's what I did there. And then for the rest of the shawl, I have done switching every other row. So I would go back and forth. And then here, of course, this is where I ran out for Clue 4, and I just have the pink there. So I think on the next clue, I will begin to incorporate the next color, which I don't have with me, but it is a really beautiful, vibrant, pinky purple, also on a sparkle base. It's from Pineapple Yarn, and I've had that in my stash forever. But yeah, that's what I have with that so far. It's been a very easy mystery knit along, no pressure kind of thing. So I've been really happy with having an MKAL that wasn't going super fast. It's been great. So that is it for my works in progress. Once I bind off the other shawls that I showed you, I am going to start knitting the yarns that I spun up for, I believe it was last podcast, I totally said the wrong month. I want to say it was May. It was the May Fiber of the Month Club box from Paradise Fibers. It was the Game of Thrones themed box. And they are darker colors. What I did is I blended all the colors and made kind of like 3 coordinating skeins. And I want to do some kind of like fade shawl. I'm not really sure what pattern I'm going to do with those. So if you have any nice shawl suggestions, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But they're about fingering weight, fingering sport weight. But yeah, I cannot wait to start knitting that. That's going to be fun. But I wanted to share with you the last project that I'm working on this week, and that is my August Fiber of the Month Club box from Paradise Fibers. Now, I don't have the actual fiber because I loved it so much. I started prepping it maybe the day after I received it. It was so fun. It was a beautiful box. So if you haven't opened up your box or you want the surprise, I will put a timestamp here so you can skip ahead with that too. But it was full of different texture, which I loved, texture and color. And the top, there were 2 different fibers. The first was a merino nylon Angelina, which was an undyed merino. The Angelina was kind of I think it was like a clear or a white Angelina, so it was beautiful. I love when there's sparkle in the fiber. The second fiber was a blended top with merino, mulberry silk, and flax, which was just, the texture was just outstanding. I loved it. I also recognized it was going to be a challenge to spin. I really had to think about what kind of prep work I needed to do for it. The flax was so pretty because it was dyed black, and then it was against this just bright, vibrant merino fiber, and then the mulberry silk, I believe, was kind of like a beautiful like sunflower yellow and white. So tons of texture and color in this top. It's gorgeous. So I did try to spin it just as is, and I quickly saw that that wasn't going to happen. The flax just was it was very dominant in the spinning, so when I would draft it through, it wanted to come out and not the rest of the fibers. So what I did is I made rollags, which is, it has worked out really well the past few spins that I've had to just blend up some rollags and do that. So what I did is I used both of those fibers, the merino nylon Angelina and then also the blended top with the flax. And this is what I ended up making. I could not be happier with these rollags. I think they are so beautiful. I think they are so much fun. And I actually had some very similar Angelina in my fiber stash, so I did add more sparkle. But that's what it looks like, all blended up. So fun. And I don't know if you can see the flax coming out, but it definitely is kind of like wispy bits. You can see it on the end here. All that black is flax. And it really does have a unique feel. But so far, I think I have about, I want to say I have about 6 ounces here. I know I measured grams, but I can't exactly remember how many grams of these I have. But so far I have spun up 2 Rolags, and this is what it looks like so far. It is a bit challenging to spin for me because of the different textures. I am trying to do a short backwards draft, just kind of in the spirit of the Rolags, but I'm also trying to make it super consistent, as consistent as I can. And that's challenging with the different textures in it. So what I'm aiming at is about a DK weight yarn, and these will be singles. So kind of with these yarns that I'm spinning that have like more sparkle or more texture, I think these are just going to turn out to be really, really beautiful winter accessories, hats, scarves, that kind of thing. This is going to be so much fun. And I forgot to mention that in the box was the fiber, but then they also included a fur pom-pom, so you could make a beanie, put a fur pom on top, which I thought was so great because that's what I'm probably going to do with this. Though 6 ounces will be plenty for a hat. It will be plenty. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying that spin, and yeah, I haven't been spinning as much this week just because I'm pushing through my knitting whips. So I've been super motivated to do that. But other than that, that is all I've been working on this week, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you or give you an update about my shop, a little bit of shop news. I am so excited because by the time this posts, it will be the launch of the 2019 Pineapple Yarn Advent Calendar, and the theme this year is Sun and Salt, which are 2 of my favorite things at the beach. And so I wanted to just make a really fun, vibrant, cheerful, non-traditional Advent calendar, and all of the items included in the calendar will be kind of reflected of this mood board, and they will have some really beautiful textures and colors. They are definitely not going to be neutrals, I can tell you that. This is not a kind of neutrals advent calendar, so they will be beautiful pops of color. And what I want to do this year with the yarn, there will be 24 20-gram mini skeins, and they will be, my plan is they will all be arranged in a fade, so you can knit them up every day. You can knit one. I will be definitely reserving a calendar for myself. I am going to knit Amber O'Brien's 2019 Adventure Knit Along, and if you go to her Ravelry and look at her projects from years past, they are stunning. And so through December, you're just knitting these, you know, following the pattern and knitting a surprise mini every day. And by the time the 25th, by the time Christmas rolls around, you have a finished object, which I think is so fun. Yeah, so I'm really excited to take part in that this year. But in the Pineapple Yarn Advent Calendar, it will be so special this year. It will be 24 20-gram minis, and it will include a hand-poured candle with fragrance. I've selected the fragrance I'm going to use. The candles are so beautiful, beeswax and coconut oil candle, and so that'll be fun to light a candle and knit this December. But it will also include a beautiful progress keeper, which is handmade, and everything was selected by me. And there will also be an optional project bag you can add on, as well as an optional 100-gram full skein of yarn in a colorway that it won't be repeated. It will be a Sun and Salt themes skein. So so excited. There will also be a few other notions and goodies sprinkled into the calendar just for fun and to make it fun for you. But those pre-orders are on sale as this video posts on YouTube. So go to my website, pineappleyarn.com, check it out, see what you like. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment or message me on Instagram or Ravelry, or you can email me also. I'm available all those places, and I would be more than happy to help you with those questions. So yeah, I cannot wait to start making these for you. They really feel my creative heart. So very excited to get started on those. And yeah, so I'm going to give you a really quick update about the studio. For those of you who don't know, I am renovating a very small house on our property, and it is going to be my new yarn studio, my new yarn dyeing studio, and it is quite old. We've had to do a lot of work in it, and this week the electrician is here rewiring the entire thing, and so that has been so exciting. It's so excited. I'm just so excited about it because he's adding a lot more light, recessed lights, and whereas before there was no lighting, there was a switch with an outlet and you could plug a lamp into it, and that was it. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. He's also installing a lot more power for my burners. The burners that I use require quite a bit of electricity. They can't really be used on regular outlets, just a regular circuit, because there isn't enough power. So I am so excited for that. So that's being done. My husband actually swapped out a couple of valves. I'll put a picture here so you can see kind of what was going on. There's a small bathroom in the house, and there was a leak, which, yes, in our house as well, there have been leaks that we've fixed, and it hasn't been a big deal. But this, I think it was, I don't want to get too technical. I know this is not a renovation podcast. It is a knitting podcast. But I believe it was galvanized to copper, which is a no. Like, you don't want to have galvanized steel to copper pipes. It's not good. It causes corrosion, as far as I can understand. Because when he took these off and replaced them, this is what he found, which is just disgusting. I mean, that is complete corrosion, and kind of like no wonder it was leaking, right? So he replaced that. And what else? Oh, I found a window contractor. We're going to replace all the windows because they are non-functioning and old, which there's nothing wrong with old windows, obviously. But these, one is broken, and they're single pane, completely inefficient. So we're really excited to put in some nice windows that will hold heat or air conditioning in, whatever. And yeah, so this next week, I think we're going to probably have the electrical finished. We're going to get kind of a timeline for the windows. We're going to have the new insulation finished, and hopefully have an idea of when the drywall will go up as well, because we are doing everything basically from the ground up in this house. Everything is being redone. So I am so excited. I'm just cannot wait until it's finished, and just to have a space for, I don't want to sound selfish, but to have a space for myself and to have a space for kind of just my creativity and my work, my yarn. I really want to start dyeing yarn again. It's something that really fulfills me, and something I feel like I'm contributing to our family, and so I cannot wait to have that all done. But that is all that's going on. Hopefully I will be back in the next 2 weeks to give you an update about my whips and give you an update about the studio, let you know what's going on. But if you like this podcast, I would love if you would consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up so I know about the content that you're interested in. And until next time, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!